What's up, everybody? This is Devin White, linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're listening to the LCC Network. Go Bucks.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Commissioner's Clubhouse and the LCC Network for our 27th episode of the offseason. And it's our RB rankings, our first RB rankings of the year, which is pretty awesome. And we've got the whole crew, that's right, Cody. We got the whole crew together too. We got me, Jameson, and obviously Cody all on board this evening for you guys to break it down. So, how are you guys doing?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me, by the way, Pat. That wasn't Cody. That
Yeah,
was
it
me.
wasn't me.
Yeah. Oh, that was you?
That was
No
me.
way. That did
Yeah.
not sound like you. Wow.
I'm excited, man. This is the episodes I think people have been waiting for a little while. I think these are some of my favorite episodes to do. So I'm stoked. We're gonna start with the running backs here. I think Cody wanted to do quarterbacks next week, so we'll probably come at you with the quarterback rankings next week, guys. There are some surprises on here. There are some that are not so surprising. I think what we'll do is kind of go through the rankings, and then we'll kind of go back and we can discuss favorites, guys that can move up, down, guys we're avoiding, guys we might overpay for, things like that. So we'll kind of chunk it by 10 or 15 at a time, kind of make it easier to swallow. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. All right, guys. So, number one, obviously, all the way across the board, consensus for all of us, Christian McCaffrey. There's no, no surprise there.
You want to crown him? Then crown her.
Number one running back. Number two, Saquon Barkley. Me and Cody, Pat, you've got him at 3, so you put Zeke ahead of Saquon Barkley. Any reason for that?
I like the offense a lot better, and I don't think there's any reason why Zeke, Dak Prescott, the big names in Dallas don't have a good year. I don't even like the Cowboys, but I'll be the first to say they have a lot of great pieces there, and I like Zeke's. I like his offensive line, I like the entire offense. I think he's gonna have another good year, and I think I like him a little bit more than Saquon. I like Saquon better for dynasty purposes, right, and building for the future because he is younger, but I like Zeke for just this season at least.
All right. I'm interested to see what happens in the draft. Like whoever's at the number 2 pick right before Cody, if they think the same way and take Zeke, or if they don't and they take Saquon. So I'll be interested to see what happens.
I've heard Saquon is the lean right now.
I would take Saquon, honestly. Like if I'm drafting this season, I'm telling you, take Saquon. But if you're talking, I'm just trying to win right now. And granted, there's not going to be much of a difference between the two by the end of the year, more than likely. But with that said, if we're talking just this year, again, I'm going Zeke. If we're talking like longevity of career and the future, I would go Saquon. I would encourage you to go Saquon with that pick.
Okay. So number 3, Zeke Elliott, no surprise. Number 4, Alvin Kamara. So the top 4, all very easy. In fact, really the top 10 are pretty close. Moving to number 5, Dalvin Cook. You guys had him at 5. I have him at 6. Number 6, Austin Eckler. Cody, Pat have him at 6. I've got him at 5. Any concerns here at all with, a new quarterback coming in? I mean, or do you think that's even better for him? Maybe, in the short, kind of the short route screen game.
I think it's perfect for Austin Eckler having a rookie quarterback starting more than likely. We have to assume he's going to be the starter. And I think he's going to get a lot of the check down passes. I think Austin Eckler's a great PPR piece for sure. No concerns for me.
I don't think it. I mean, I never think it helps if you got like a rookie quarterback, but I also don't think it puts him in a bad position by any means. I definitely think he's more than capable of putting up a repeat performance from last year, and that reflects, I guess, in the rankings.
Okay. They did pay him, so they have invested in him, which is good to see. I think we're all pretty excited to see him this year. Number 7, Joe Mixon. Number 8, Derrick Henry. I begrudgingly put Derrick Henry at number 8. Pat's
I think we
got
all.
him at 9.
Yeah.
Cody's got him at 7, so he fell right there, number 8. Number 9, Josh Jacobs. Number 10, Miles Sanders. I think this is somebody that would take a pretty big leap. Finished the season fantastic last year. Finished as RB 18 in our league last season. Philadelphia has traditionally had a committee, with their running back system, but we're all seem to think that either one isn't going to matter or two isn't going to happen because we've all got Miles Sanders in the top 11.
Yeah. I think for well, hey, I don't want to give anything away. You keep going with the list. I was about to lead into some other players, but
Okay. All right. Number 11, Nick Chubb. Number 12, Kenyon Drake. 13, Leonard Fournette. 14, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So we'll stop there with the first 14 and look back here for a moment. Nick Chubb all the way down at 11. I think this is not as much about Nick Chubb as it is to do with Kareem Hunt in the backfield. Is that right?
yes. For me, Hunt plays a huge factor in it. I mean, we've heard everything from him possibly playing kind of like a slot receiver role, him being the go-to guy in the third down situation. I think for Chubb, he's still going to have a good year. He's still more than likely going to be like back end RB1 in your traditional like PPR leagues, whereas in our league he's like a definite RB1. But I think he's going to be around. For me, I have him a little outside the top 12 because of the I almost said Tyreek Hill. Sorry about that. I'm losing my mind. I'm thinking like old Kansas City, like 2017, where all of them were together. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's my biggest concern with him.
Okay. All right, and then like I said, Kenyon Drake 12, Leonard Fournette 13, Clyde Edwards-Helaire 14. Cody, any thoughts on some of these guys in the top 14? I mean, is there anybody that you think you're going to avoid or that you may not want on your team in this top 14?
I mean,
or someone you're not excited about?
I mean, at the end of the day, like I can agree with what Pat's saying with Nick Chubb. I'm not as excited about him, and I thought I was going to be a little bit in that minority with that, but definitely you guys followed suit and definitely pushed Nick Chubb a little further down. I'm not as high on Clyde Edwards-Helaire as maybe you two are. I really believe in the presence of Williams. And I definitely think that's going to still be a factor, and it's going to hinder like him maybe finishing as high as that. I really think it's going to be a factor early on in the season. But man, I think we're all, we all kind of follow suit, one or two spots here and there with, every few guys maybe. And I think it's a solid 14, top 14. I think we're all just falling in love with the offense that Clyde is in. So that's why he's probably that rookie that made it there at this point in time.
Yeah.
I think it's a situation that I love more than anything. It's not that I think he's the best running back or even the best dynasty rookie running back. He's in the best team possible, and I think he's in a really good situation. That's kind of why I've got him so high on my rankings.
Yeah, it's just a combination of Damian Williams last year, they're not paying him a lot of money. They spent a first-round pick on Helaire. He's a great pass catcher. Like, it's just kind of a combination of things that make me more excited about him. And I think there is more risk, to Cody's point, with a guy like Clyde Edwards-Helaire over a guy like, maybe a Todd Gurley or a Kenyon Drake or something like that, Singletary or Chris Carson. But I think the upside, if he does get a lot of volume, is tremendous. You know what I mean?
I totally agree.
Yeah, I know. I agree. And I don't dislike it. I think it's harder for me to really throw a rookie in there, especially when I view it as, they got Williams on a cheap contract right now, and I view that as a good thing for Williams and the team, and not the greatest thing for Clyde Edwards, because that means I feel like they're going to use Williams. But then again, like in terms of like opportunity in the offense, like Clyde's definitely in like this picture perfect offense, and I think just alone he's going to survive and be a top 20 running back off of receiving stats alone, because I think that's where he's going to really live right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then I'll point this out, Leonard Fournette. I truly believe, I think him and Nick Chubb, and I said this before we got on the podcast, but him and Nick Chubb were probably the hardest to place for me, because you give Leonard Fournette, 8 touchdowns on the season, and Leonard Fournette's probably finishing top 5 last year. The guy puts up numbers. There's nobody behind him. He catches passes. Like, I think he had 70-something receptions last year. He went over 1,000 yards receiving. I feel like he doesn't get the thought, he doesn't get that, like, credit that he maybe deserves a little bit, because, maybe because I'm going in the 4th overall or something like that in the draft, people thought he was going to be the best thing, and it just so happens he might be the 4th best running back out of that whole entire class, and he went first behind, Alvin, McCaffrey, and Kamara, all being in that class, and he might be the worst, and I think people view him poorly. But in the end, if you go look at his numbers, I mean, the guy catches 70 balls, 600 receiving yards, 700 receiving yards, and then he goes over 1,000 yards receiving. The only thing that's not there is those touchdowns. And I feel like you get him one big year with a touchdown explosion, something like freaking Aaron Jones had last year, and Leonard Fournette's going to be a steal for anybody. And I know he gets hated on a lot.
So different Fournette's, we had him at 13, Cody at 12. I've got him down at 16, and Pat's got him at 12. So Leonard Fournette, I pulled his stats up here just so we could very briefly talk about him before we move on. He only scored in 2 games last season. He played 15 games. He scored in 2 of them. So there's definitely a lot of positive regression coming for touchdowns. He had 1,100 rushing yards, 500 receiving yards, 76 catches, and I think this is my problem with him this season is they brought in Chris Thompson. They didn't have anybody behind him to catch passes, so I think he goes back to what we've seen in the past, which is I think he's been more in the 30s in the reception total, and I think that's what worries me the most. If someone told me, if someone said I guarantee you Leonard Fournette has 70 receptions this year, I would lock him in as a top 10 running back. Absolutely, wouldn't even hesitate. Yeah. But I am a little concerned about that regressing this season. But to Cody's point, I think we could see, he could be as low as, RB 19 or 20. But I think he could, if things go right, he could be RB 6 or 5, right? So
yeah, he finished 8 last year, I think. 7.
He was 8 last year. 8?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I maybe don't believe in the receptions at 76 or what, 76, 78, whatever you said. But I believe the receptions to be at 50, 60. If
that happens, I will be much higher on Fournette. If we get 60, I'll be higher on Fournette for real. I'll put him in the top 10.
I genuinely flirted with putting Fournette around 7, like a couple of times on this list as I was making it.
I hope you're right, because I've got him in one league. So I've got him. I think his reception total is going to regress. Obviously, we all agree on that. I don't think it's going to be like in the 30s. Like Chris Thompson provides limited value to the Jaguars. What did he ever do in Washington? He didn't do anything.
As a pass catcher, he provides a lot of value if he stays healthy.
I agree.
He normally can't stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's my point, is that Leonard Fournette, to me, is still is going to be the lead back. Now, it's going to regress. I think they're going to have to change the way they play offense as well. They saw what happened last year. I think that he's still going to be the bell cow of that offense, but at the same time, don't expect those crazy receiving totals. He's not going to get 500 receiving yards. I would imagine it's going to be like 300 something. That's kind of where I envision that to fall.
Well, we'll see what happens. He's got some negative. Maybe it balances out. And he still finishes top 10. Who knows? But I think we're excited to see what happens with him. Which league do you have him in? Our other league?
Yeah,
that we all play in?
Yeah.
So you are keeping him then?
More than likely. I haven't really thought about it, honestly, in the past week, so I gotta go back and look at it again. But Darius Leonard is probably a keeper for me.
If Leonard Fournette?
Yeah, sorry, I'm losing my mind right now. Yeah, Leonard Fournette. Sorry, I drove 6 hours from Florida today, so I'm still my mind's jogging right now. It's getting warmed up the further in this we go.
All right, we'll jump into our next set here. I'm kind of going by 14 just because it's easier. I know that may not make sense from a tier perspective, but this is the next group. This group was a little harder to stat, to project, to rank because the gaps get bigger between our players at this point. So at number 15, we've got Aaron Jones. We expect a lot of regression from him this season. Chris Carson at 16, Todd Gurley at 17. Devin Singletary at 18, which you both think is like a crime against humanity, it feels like, off the show. Number 19, David Montgomery. 20, James Conner. 21, Melvin Gordon. 22, David Johnson. 23, Mark Ingram. 24, Raheem Mostert, who had a fantastic end of season, especially in the playoffs. Number 25, the rookie. I'm the rookie of the year. I'm the rookie of the year. Cam Akers, 26, Sonny Michel, 27, Darius Geis, and 28, Ronald Jones. Guys, let's scoop back up to the top here real quick. Number 18, Devin Singletary. We've talked about him off the show. Cody's got him as high as 14. Pat, 18. I've got him at 21. What do we love about Singletary this season?
I still think he's literally the only running back worth your while in Buffalo, in my opinion. They sort of they added Stephon Diggs at receiver. That's it. I mean, that's their only real guy they've got a receiver. At one point, the biggest signing at the receiver position for the Bills in years was Kelvin Benjamin, mind you. So if that tells you anything about the Bills passing over the past 20-something odd years. I mean, I think Singletary is the only person worth mentioning in that offense, besides, obviously, like I said, Diggs, and then you look at the quarterback situation. I think that he's going to be the leading scorer of that offense.
I mean, I look at it like this. I know Jameson, you mentioned that you were worried about the poaching of touchdowns by Josh Allen, and I can understand that. But at the same time, they have TJ Yeldon, which I don't think anybody has quite relied on. Yeah, he's a decent third down back, but I mean, even then, like, I think he gets reduced in certain areas, even on third down. Like, you don't even want him in there on every third down situation. And then they drafted Zach Moss out of Utah, which, I mean, going into this COVID thing and coming out of it, like, is he ready to produce, especially with that type of running back? Because Singletary was that type of running back last year, and it took Singletary some time to really get on the field. But once he got on the field last year, I mean, he's shining. I don't see any reason to believe that anybody's going to steal any carries from him early on. I mean, I guess later on, I don't really know. Because if Zach Moss comes out to be the truth, then that is what it is. But I don't see anybody stealing carries from this guy. Like Pat said, there's not a whole lot on the outside. I kind of like a couple of their slot receivers that he didn't really mention, like John Brown and stuff like that. But I just, at the end of the day, like, who's there to steal his shine? And I'm not worried about a TJ Yeldon. I mean, that's for sure. And he really looked good at the end of last season. And I just think that's the type of – and McDermott, that's the type of, like, offense McDermott's about. I mean, he's totally fine with running, pushing it down your throat like Smash Mouth. Like I truly believe that's his, style. That's what he would prefer to run. Like he doesn't mind running up the score a little bit, but they're gonna run that. They'll run that like read option a little bit with the quarterback just to keep you honest. But they're gonna smash Devin Singletary up that gut.
Well, and here's the thing that I love about Singletary, though, is that the Bills have a defense. Very rarely will the Bills be playing significantly behind where they have to stop running the football. And if they do stop running the football, Singletary can catch. Unlike Leonard Fournette, and I get Leonard Fournette is coming off one of his best receiving years in his entire career as a running back, but I mean that's the difference between those two. And obviously we have one as like a top 12 running back, some of us, whereas Devin Singletary, we kind of got him in that mid-level between 13 and 24. So I think we're talking about the upside of Fournette. The upside of Singletary is significant, I think.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got upside. Like Cody mentioned, the Josh Allen thing worries me a little bit. I just feel some of the volume. I think the guys I have right ahead of him, I like the volume more. Like a guy like David Montgomery, Aaron Jones, Le'Veon Bell. I feel a little bit safer, a little more proven. But in this cluster here, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, this cluster's small. I've got him at 21. I've got all the way up to 17. I'm saying he could easily finish 17, 16.
My thought with David Montgomery, just to like throw one name out there, is like I feel like he has no ceiling with receiving because let's be serious, that's definitely going to Tyreek Cohen. And then if you're talking about rushing, like Singletary's got to be. He's basically getting the same opportunities as David Montgomery's getting in rushing, and then he's getting more opportunity receiving because let's be serious. Tyreek Cohen is a bigger receiving threat, way bigger receiving threat than anybody behind Singletary. I mean, TJ Yeldon, come on, give me a break. Again, you know how I feel about TJ Yeldon already after the past, 5 minutes. I see more opportunity with Devin Singletary than I do with David, and I see, the ceiling being higher. And the floor, I feel like their floor is similar, but I feel like the ceiling for Singletary is higher.
Yeah, I won't debate the ceiling part. I think that's true. I just like the volume of my got almost 100 more carries than Singletary last year, and I think he gets even more this year. Maybe not as many receptions, as a guy like Singletary can. But again, I've got them back to back, so they could easily go either way. Singletary could go, finish up to number 17, even possibly, even higher than that, maybe. But I prefer, I've mentioned in the past, I'm a more conservative fantasy player. I tend to play the odds. I like the volume of a guy like Montgomery, even though I don't think he's as talented as a guy like Singletary. But I know he's going to get the ball 260 times. Last year in his rookie season, 242. Even splitting some time with Tyreek Cohen. So we'll see. But I definitely don't hate Singletary at all. I don't want anyone to have my ranking of 21 as
he hates him. Don't let him
lie. That is terrible.
He hates him.
Oh. Speaking of rankings, I was just looking at the things here. Cody and I have Le'Veon Bell in the top 17. Pat, you don't have Le'Veon Bell on your list.
No, it's because I forgot about Le'Veon Bell. It's not because I don't believe it. Don't get me wrong. I
was about to say.
No. Le'Veon Bell for me, though, if I had to put him in here, I honestly don't know if I would have him in my top 24, as weird as that sounds. I like the upside. We have some young guys on this list.
It's all about opportunity, Patrick.
I get it's about opportunity, dude, but dude, I can't buy into it. I've got him I'm not saying he couldn't finish in top 24. I would have him just outside of the top 24, like maybe 26, 27, right around there.
I would literally put both of my nuts on it that he finishes in the top 24.
Dude,
there's literally no competition. You have Frank Gore sitting there, and I don't mind Frank Gore, but they've already stated that Frank Gore was there for strictly a personnel reason, not for to take care of. And you're paying Le'Veon Bell how much money? You literally just gave him one of the better contracts that a running back has been getting here in the recent memories. Like, there's
just-
no way this guy, just opportunity alone. I mean, he's going to catch 70 balls easy. There's no doubt in my mind. If he's healthy and plays all 16, he catches 70 balls.
My issue with the Jets is that, in my opinion, they're the fourth best team in that division still.
Don't doubt it. Yeah, I agree.
And if we were talking about teams playing from behind, they're going to be playing from behind a lot. And I don't think that plays in Le'Veon's favor.
But I don't think that hurts him either. Like, that's what I'm saying. He's literally just because like he was absent a year and didn't have the greatest year last year. But please do not forget he's literally probably a top 5 receiving back in the NFL. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the style of play or him playing behind him.
He is a top 5 receiving back in the NFL.
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
agree. I don't disagree with that. I just don't think it's a situation more than anything is what I cannot stand is where he's at right now and what's around him. I think, and don't get me wrong, him not having anyone around him plays in his favor because there's no other weapons. But I just feel that when we're talking about a team that's going to be playing from behind, he is the only player on that team, in my opinion, still for the most part. That's not going to be good, especially at his age.
I just have a hard time like fathoming that he won't finish in the top 24 just based off of the amount of usage he's going to accumulate. I'm not saying that he's going to be super successful, and because obviously, like, I mean, me and Jameson both got him sitting down there, 17 and 18 or 17, 16? So, I don't think we're saying that he's going to be killers, but I don't think we believe that the amount of volume that we all think he's going to get, because there's absolutely nobody behind him to steal it. I don't care how bad your offense is. Like, the amount of volume that he's going to accumulate, there's no way in heck that he finishes below 24. No way. Like, just the amount of, like, he's going to catch 60, 70 balls. It might only be for 600 yards, but I'll take that. How many running backs are catching 70, 60 balls? Not a lot. There's probably like 7 of them. And then rushing wise, even if he's the only one going to be getting carries. So even if he only gets 800 yards again, like, I don't know. Like, I just don't see him dropping out of the top 24. I think that's crazy. But we can move on. I'm totally down to move on.
We gotta move on real quick, Pat. I just want to see, just so our numbers are right. Where would you put him? I mean,
I'm doing it now. Actually,
okay.
while we were doing this, I was like, I'm going to forget to add him, and then this is going to be a perpetual thing where he doesn't make our list at all. So let me fix that real quick. Hang on. I'm putting him, because I'm having to do this from phone. This may take a minute, but I'll just go ahead and tell you now. I'm putting him at 20. I'm putting it at 25. Yeah.
Whew. All right.
That's
hold on.
preposterous.
Just outside.
Preposterous. You're gonna get so much crap for this when we go over these rankings at some point.
Okay, based on that number, that's gonna put him right here at number 20, right behind James Conner, or right in front of James Conner. Is where that's gonna put him.
No, I'd rather have James Conner.
So
I'm just saying.
Well, it's consensus, not yours.
all right.
All right.
So
Let's move on.
he is actually number 20 because Patrick forgot about him. So he is number 20. Everybody bumps down 21. Gordon 22, Johnson 23, Ingram 4, 25, Mostert 26, Cam Akers 27, Michelle 28, Darius Guice. All right. Here, last set here. This is I know everyone's thinking, oh, these guys are gross. Why are we talking about them? Because there's 24 teams, and these guys are going to be rostered. So, in fact, more than these guys are actually going to be rostered. We only went to 41. So I know it sounds gross, but these are all guys that are, 1, going to be on teams. 2, most of them are available on the waiver wire. So if you're listening now and you're still going through the waiver wire and you haven't decided, be mindful. So, all right. So number 29, Ronald Jones. 30, Jonathan Taylor. Cody's got him at 18. Pat and I have him real low. Drug his number down. 31, Jordan Howard. 32, Philip Lindsay. 33, Marlon Mack. 34, DeAndre Swift. Kerryon Johnson didn't even make our top 41. So the consensus is that DeAndre Swift's going to be the starter. 35, Kareem Hunt. 36, Damian Williams. 37, James White. 38, Tevin Coleman. 39, Matt Breida. 40, Carlos Hyde. And 41, Chase Edmonds.
Bonus
So
player
rounds
42, Adrian Peterson. Just saying.
42.
He was at our 41. For those of you watching the podcast right now, you see the rankings from right before Le'Veon Bell was just added. So everything that Jameson said is off by one number just because he's going off the new updated rankings. So that's why Adrian Peterson is now 42, for example, and not 41. So that's why those don't line up.
I'm the only one that ranked AP.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you're the only one that ranked him.
That's right.
That's how he got on that list. Yeah, guys, in this group here, there's no one that I'm super excited about, but, and this, Pat, this goes to your thing you said off the show about retraining your mind, because these guys, a lot of them wouldn't even be rostered in our league, or if they were, they were RB4s. No one really looked at them, but now they're going to be RB2s on your team. So you have to kind of retrain your brain to think, all right, these guys aren't like sexy in a standard format, but a guy like Jordan Howard, who is the presumed starter in Miami, right?
No.
Okay, Cody says no. Okay. or Matt Breida, whatever.
Yeah, thank you, because that's what I think in this day.
I'm a Jordan Howard guy. Cody's Matt Breida. Pat's a Jordan Howard guy.
Yeah.
Or you look at teams like Indy, right? And you don't know Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor, who's getting the workload, right? DeAndre Swift, Kerryon Johnson, Kareem Hunt's on here, Damian Williams is on here. So it's really gross, but you got to retrain your mind to say that these are RB2s on your teams now, and to think about that as you move through the waiver wire and through the draft. A guy like Darius Geis, for example, I mean, if he stays healthy, he hits. We have him at 28. I mean, he could be RB14,
Dude,
so
Darius Geis, dude, I just want to point this out. There are probably like 4 guys on this back part of this list, starting from Darius Geis, that has the potential to jump to top 10. Like, in my opinion, just based off of talent alone, if you're looking at it, that's Darius Geis. I think it's Jonathan Taylor. I think it's DeAndre Swift. I think Kareem Hunt has a chance. And then I personally, I think Ronald Jones has a chance to be a top 10 guy. As weird as that is, hot take.
That's a very very hot take.
That is super hot.
I'll play this just to see if there's anyone
man.
That's listening. I actually am warming up to Ronald Jones, though. I will admit, I'm warming up to Ronald Jones. I had him at 30. I think actually I'm the highest on him on our list. Oh no, Pat's at 29. I'm at 30. Cody's at 32. I'm warming up to him. Guys that I'm avoiding real quick. I know we got to wrap things up. Guys that I really don't want any part of, even though they're in this list here.
Adrian Peterson.
I definitely don't want Adrian
Exactly.
Peterson. I really am trying to avoid Sony Michel. I mean, I know it could go well there with Cam Newton there, and they could want to run the ball more, but I mean, he's so injury prone. He hasn't done anything outside of the playoffs in 2018. I still have him at 29, and I'm sure if he fell to me, I guess I'd pick him up. But I would really rather take a shot on a high upside guy like a DeAndre Swift or, you know what I mean? Like over Sony Michel there. I know it sounds weird, but
I just want to point this out. I think I agree with you on that. And another guy like that is Marlon Mack, and I started thinking about it like that. But then I kind of zoomed up, and it's funny, we all are kind of in a similar mix with Mark Ingram. He finished top 10 last year, and he kind of fell. We have him at 24, just to kind of go back a little bit. But it's funny, none of us ranked a second running back for them.
J.K. Dobbins,
Yeah.
I didn't because of Lamar Jackson. That's why I didn't, because I don't know what J.K. Dobbins' role is going to be. I think it's going to impact Mark Ingram, which is why I dropped him. But I don't know if it's going to be enough of an impact to pull him up into the top 40, if that makes sense. Because similar to my thoughts on Devin Singletary with Josh Allen, I think Lamar Jackson can siphon away some of that, yardage or touchdowns or what have you. So I really don't know. J.K. Dobbins is one of those things to me. It's like I don't know what to do with him in 2020. 2021 and beyond. I think he's an absolute stud. But this season, I have no clue what to do with him.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Swift as well.
Yeah. The only rookie running back I think that all of us are okay with is I think Cam Akers is one. We all feel like he's probably going to win that starting job. If not the starting job, at least most of the opportunity there. We all have him in our top 27, it looks like. Some of us even higher. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think, do what?
I said we all have top 20.
Cam Akers?
No, Edwards-Helaire.
Oh, Edwards-Helaire, yeah.
Edwards-Helaire, yeah. No.
Yeah. Top 20, then Akers of all of us top 27. So,
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm excited. Anything else before we finish up? Any thoughts on any guys we didn't discuss real quickly, or anyone that we didn't list you think you want to put in the top 41?
Eddie Lacy. No, I'm just kidding. Rip.
Last thing, is it weird that drop James White? Can't use the QB.
Is it weird that you said you're dropping James White? Is that what it
I
says?
want to drop James White because Cam Newton's QB.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. No.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I don't think Cam's going to run like he used to, though. But yeah, I could see why you'd want to drop James White.
Oh, hey guys, you want to hear one more thing that's gross? Last season, so there's going to be at least 48 running backs rostered, right? Some teams will have 3, so there'll be probably at least 50 something. Last season, you guys want to take a shot on who RB 48 was?
Oof, that's gonna be so tough.
You're never gonna guess.
Just tell me. I don't even know.
He had
Frank Gore.
No, it was not Frank Gore. He had 168 points, and he scored more than 20 only 4 times the entire season. In fact, he was in single digits 5 times. And scored under 13 7 times. It was Rex Burkhead, running back 48.
Rex, I can see that.
So that stat is going to be rostered on someone's team this year, basically.
Well, I think if you go in the mindset that running backs 1 through 48 or 54, if you want to say that, are going to be rostered every single week. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think you're going to see running backs 30 and below consistently dropped and added throughout the season, because at that point you're just streaming a guy for a bye week or flex position week, you know what I mean? So I think like Rex Burkhead, dude, he may be an absolute stud for that bye week you need him, but at the same time, like if you think of it the whole season, no, you don't want him on your team the entire season.
Cody, Frank Gore was 47, by the way. So you only missed it by 1. That was pretty amazing. Give you props there. All right, guys, that's it. Next week we're coming at you with quarterback rankings, and then we'll continue going with the offense, and then we'll get into the defensive rankings. Guys, this was a lot of fun. I look forward to continuing this throughout the rest of the offseason, and we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Dude.
See ya.